Hey kids, what time is it?
What time is it?
It's community conversations
It's community
time.
conversations time. That's right. From the beaches of South Florida to the hills of Tennessee, from New York to Hawaii. Tell your friends that community conversations is about to inform the next generation with news, without fear, and educate them without a pain.
And a warm South Florida and Costa Rica welcome to all of you.
This 1 hour forum deepens connections, and it provides discussions on a range of topics including social emotional issues, improving relations with law enforcement, post-secondary education, careers, health and wellness, politics and race, inclusion and equality.
Focus on an initiative. Case in point tonight, you all were speaking about gun violence. Since I've been growing up, that's been a thing, especially living here in Florida.
Community Conversations, where it's all about highlighting the talented youth in our communities and the great things that they are
in
doing.
terms of encouraging women's involvement in civil rights activism.
Community Conversations.
Good evening, news enthusiasts. It's 7 p.m. and you're tuned in into Community Conversations. I'm Denia Strawn, coming to you from beautiful Delray Beach, Florida. And joining me is
Jasmine Wright in Delray Beach, Florida.
welcome to tonight's edition of Community Conversations.
We've got an amazing show lined up for you tonight that will showcase some extraordinary kids in our communities. In fact, we got some news about an epic celebration in downtown Los Angeles.
Yes, we do. The Dodgers are the 2024 World Series champs, and this morning they're enjoying a well earned victory parade followed by a ticketed event at the Dodger Stadium. In New York on Wednesday night, they became the first team in the Major League history to come from behind five or more runs to clinch the title. And while the series was touted as an Aaron Judge Shohei Otani showdown, it turned into something else entirely. The hero of this series, for Dodgers fans anyway, was Freddie Freeman, who homered in the first four games and drove in a total of 12 runs to tie a record set back in 1960. Not surprisingly, he was named the World Series MVP.
Interesting World Series footnote. A baseball player named Will Smith has won the title and the ring that goes with it in 5 seasons. Will Smith, the Dodgers starting catcher, won it in 2020 again with this season. A different Will Smith, a relief pitcher, was on the playoff roster for the 3 World Series champions from 2021 to 2023. The 2021 Atlanta Braves, the 2022 Houston Astros, and the 2023 Texas Rangers. According to Yahoo Sports, he was the first MLB player to win the World Series in 3 consecutive years with 3 different teams, and for the fifth year, Will Smith's streak. It could continue. The Dodgers are favored to win again next year, and they're re-upped their Will Smith until 2033. From sports to science, we got a story about a 9-year-old creator of an innovative handheld device that detects pesticide residues in fruits and vegetables.
Cerise Subash, a ninth grader from Snellville, Georgia, won the 3M Young Scientists Challenge with his invention, PestiScan, a handheld device that detects pesticide residues on produce. Using AI-based spectrophotometry, the device analyzes light wavelengths, to identify contamination with over 85% accuracy. Cerise plans to refine the $20 device before college and dreams of attending MIT, investing his $25,000 prize into his tuition.
Hey families, gather around. The Rivera Beach Public Library is excited to invite you to a family read aloud night on Wednesday, November 6th at 6 p.m. We will be sharing wonderful stories and celebrations of our vegetarians. Join us at 2129 N. Congress Avenue, just south of Blue Heritage Boulevard. For more details, give us a call at 561 854 845 4195. Reading together as a family is a fantastic way to bond and create lasting memories. We can't wait to see you there.
Hello there, students. Exciting news just in. A brand new list has been released ranking the top school districts in Florida. And guess what? Your school district might be one of the stars. Nietzsche's 2025 Best School Districts in Florida list is out, and it's based on a deep dive into academic and student life data from the U.S. Department of Education. They also looked at teacher quality, public school, district rankings, and grades, and even more. According to Nietzsche, the 2025 Best School Districts ranking is based on rigorous analysis of key statistics and millions of reviews from students and parents using data from the U.S. Department of Education. So, what exactly do they look at? Well, they check out state test scores, college readiness, and graduation rates. Academics were super important, making up 50% of the overall score. This includes state assessment proficiency, college enrollment data, and survey responses on academics from students and parents. But that's not all. Other factors include teachers, which is 15%, culture and diversity, which is 12.5%, parent student surveys on overall experience, 12.5%, resources and facilities, 5%, clubs and activities, 2.5%, sports, also 2.5%. Stay tuned to see if your school make the list.
Tired of hearing that the news is all doom and gloom? Well, tune in into Community Conversations, where we flip the script. We bring you uplifting stories of kids making a difference, both locally and globally. Know someone who needs a dose of positivity? Give them a call, shoot them a text, and let them know Community Conversations is on air. They won't want to miss this. Catch the good vibes with Community Conversations.
Calling all young musicians, the highly anticipated fifth annual Fernando Jones International Blues Kids Camp is back and better than ever. This year, the camp will be hosted at Kaiser University in West Palm Beach from December 26th to the 23rd to the 31st. Sorry. This incredible free camp, did I say free? Yes, it is free. Is open to instrumentalists and vocalists aged 7 to 17. Whether you're a budding guitarist, a soulful singer, or a passionate drummer, this camp is the perfect place to hone your skills and immerse yourself into a world of blues music. To secure your spot, visit blueskids.com early bird for audition information. For any questions, you can call 561 665 0151. Don't miss this amazing opportunity to learn the best and make new friends who share love for music. Register today and make Register today and get ready to rock.
Attention South Florida. Looking for top-notch security services? Look no further than Hunter Sampson Security, offering Class D and G concealed weapons training, technical self-defense, and much more. For more information, call 561-597-6348 and ask for Nick. Don't forget you mentioned you heard this ad on Community Conversations. They serve all South Florida with wisdom, strength, and integrity. Hunter Sampson Security, your trusted partner in safety. Stay safe, stay secure.
Yes. A South Carolina fraternity making news for all the right reasons. Clemson University Phi Kappa Alpha extended a bid and welcome to the Brotherhood. Charlie McGee, a junior with Down syndrome. Congratulations, Charlie. Charlie is one of the first intellectual challenge students to join the school's Greek life, and the frat known as Pike couldn't be happier with its decision. He kind of broke all the preconceived notions that I thought. A fraternity man should be like, one brother told CBS News, while another said Charlie brings the joy and light that we were missing in our chapter, that we didn't even know we were missing. Pike isn't alone. A total of six fraternities and five sororities at Clemson welcome students with intellectual differences. Charlie says for him, it's a game changer because when he's with his new brothers, my disability, it doesn't really exist.
The general elections are only 4 days away, and there has been a lot of talk about how important this election will be. Let me take a moment to speak to our youth voters out there, our future leaders. Did you know, or better yet, are you aware that your vote is your voice? Whether or not it's for school elections or the next big national vote, or on November 5, every ballot counts. Voting isn't just for adults, it's for everyone who wants to make a difference. By voting, you're shaping the future of your community and the world. It doesn't matter to me who you vote for. If you're 18 or older and you are not a convicted felon, in other words, if you have not done time in prison, you should be registered to vote. We here at Community Conversations encourage you to do your research and go to the polls or fill out that ballot you received in the mail and drop it off at your nearest supervisor or election site or mail it in. So get informed, get involved, and make your voice heard. Remember, your voice is your power. So it cries your rights.
We're diving into Helene, Milton, and climate change in a special episode of Community Conversations on Hurricanes. Got a burning question? Ask your parents or teacher to email us today at info@kopmn.org. Include your first name and your town, and who knows, your question might be featured in our interview. From the beaches to the boondocks, people have been putting everything on pause at 7 p.m. on Fridays to hear their latest commentary. And now it is that time for Trending Now with Mr. John and Mr. Siron.
When I move my body just like this, I don't know why, but I feel like freedom. I hear a song that takes me back, and I let go with so much freedom. Well, I'm gonna get, 'cause it's my freedom.
Whoa, yes, yeah. Oh, why you stop music, man? You got me bouncing here. Hey, C-Ron, how you doing?
What's going on, man?
I'm okay, bro. I'm okay. I can't
Not my
complain.
traditional Brother John. So Brother John's not here tonight, but sitting in for Brother John is Mr. Robert J. Dodd, our extraordinaire mentor, resident mentor. What's going on, brother?
What can I tell you, man? You know what? This
Hang on,
month is a lot
before you
going on.
hop into that, Jeremiah, why don't you bring Denia and Jasmine on, please?
Good evening, Mr. Dodd, and good
How you
evening,
doing?
Mr. Siron.
Hello, young ladies. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
As usual, good job tonight, and especially you, Miss Jasmine, Oprah Winfrey in training. I see you. You have a quest to take Denia's big seat someday, huh? You want to bump her out of
Yes.
the paying job. Denia, you got your first paycheck yet?
No, I'm still waiting. Somebody is,
Yeah,
you know,
I was
taking
told it's in the bank somewhere, somewhere in the bank.
somebody's taking a long
How was your
time.
week in school, Jasmine?
Good,
What was so good about it?
because my teacher is letting us do a lot of fun things lately, and she's really nice.
Your grants teacher?
My teacher.
Oh, your teacher. Okay, I thought you said your grand teacher. Okay, good. You guys have a holiday coming up or a day off coming up next week, right? On Tuesday, I heard. Strawn, I
What?
know you have the day off.
Yes,
I
I
I think
do.
next Tuesday.
I don't think I do.
Oh, you don't think? Oh, you go to private school. Well, all across the country, a lot of schools will be off. Will be out next Tuesday because that's big election day. You just mentioned that earlier. One of you guys mentioned that earlier.
It was me.
It was you. So how do we forget? I forgot you private schools. You don't have the day off anyway.
Nope.
All right, we'll talk at the end of the show. We have a packed show, so let's get through the show and we'll talk at the end. All right.
Okay.
All right. See you at the end. So, Mr. Dodd, what's going on in your world, brother?
Well, like you just had brought up, I'm excited about the 5th of November, which is 4 days away, and that's when they vote. The final voting goes in. So I'm a little excited about that, but we'll get more into that later on in the segment. But this month, November, is a great month for holidays, big and small. There's plenty going on, man. National holiday, international holiday to celebrate, World Vegan Day.
Oh, yeah, right. World Vegan Day is this month. Yeah.
That's
What
right.
is that?
Yeah.
In fact, that's today. I think today's World Vegan Day.
Oh, okay. All right. And also American oh God, Jesus, Lord help me, Jesus. Heritage Day month.
Aviation, aviation
And
history.
aviation.
History month.
Aviation on top of it. And also, what Sunday, daylight saving time ends. That clock goes back.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. There's also, don't forget, Diabetes Awareness Month, Epilepsy Month, Model Railroad Month.
And how about that peanut butter lovers month?
Novel Writing Month, Peanut Butter Month, and on Sunday we also observe National Homemaker Day and the New York City Marathon. And finally, Monday is Candy Day and National Sandwich Day. You mentioned DST earlier, and DST doesn't mean Delta Sigma Theta for those members of Delta Sigma Theta out there, but DST is also Daylight Saving Time.
That's right.
This weekend, like you said, most of us will be getting an extra hour of sleep as daylight saving time comes to an end. We'll officially revert to standard time this Sunday at 2 a.m. So remember or remind your parents to remember to set clocks back 1 hour. So speaking of daylight saving time, what are your thoughts on that, brother? They've been talking about back and forth whether we need it or not. What are your thoughts?
Longer or to shorter days and then back again, it's jarring to some people. So there has been a handful of bills introduced into Congress that's calling for daylight savings time to be made permanent. There's been a little progress. There's been little progress, really. Despite the baptism support for the idea. What do you think, man?
We're all setting our clocks back this weekend, but I think folks in Hawaii, they and parts of Arizona, where they just say to heck with daylight saving time, they're just doing their own thing. They won't have any extra sleep. I know in Michigan, lawmakers were considering their own bill that would also eliminate daylight saving time. I somewhat love my my evenings. I love to be able to have my evenings. I don't mind the mornings because I'm asleep in the mornings anyway. So I don't mind the morning. I just want my evenings, you know. Let me see. Jeremiah, is Mr. Bryant with us yet? We're supposed to be having
Man, I've been here listening to the holidays with the kids. I just listened to y'all talk about the daylight savings time. I saw the two young ladies on, and then you told them to get off. And I've been in the background. Baby. I've been here.
Okay. Because I was about to bet them popsicle that man, it's so cold in Chicago, you'd be able to make it.
That's the beautiful thing. I'm in Delray Beach, baby. That's why I told you I got off the plane. I had to hurry up and get here and get in my office because the phone, I knew it wasn't gonna work as well as the laptop. So I'm in Delray. But
I'm so glad you're able to fit us in your business schedule.
This morning in Chicago.
So glad you're able to fit us in your business schedule, brother. Last time you were with us, that was probably about 3.5, shortly after we got started. So 4.5 years or so. And can't believe DB is actually gracing our presence. Well, thank you, man.
I never see one call Dwayne Bryant normally say, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What have you been up to, brother? What's been happening in your world, DB? I heard you're planning on making a grand appearance back in the Palm Beaches.
Yes, brother. On November the 12th, I'll be with the great man, Chief Michael Coleman, and the Riviera Beach Police Department and community. We'll be talking about police-community relations. How do we improve? Going to be looking at some of their data and bringing it to the forefront with the community. But you asked the first question you said is what's been going on. 1 week a month, I'm in Memphis, Tennessee. In Memphis, Tennessee, I work with 13 through 17-year-old. Some of these students are first and second degree murderers, carjackers. These babies are locked up. They don't go home. If they had a C-Ron or Mr. Dodd or a program like yours to kind of get them thinking beyond this present moment, it'll make all the difference in the world. Another week I'm in Chicago, and another week I'm wherever else life calls. So things are great. Just been busy and excited to be here with you guys tonight.
Great, man. Great. Let's get back to Memphis. You've been spending some time in Memphis. Are you seeing a difference or improvement, if you will, in the attitude among the law enforcement professionals in Memphis and the community?
So in Memphis, I do not work with law enforcement at all, other than the guards who are in the facility. And I can honestly say it's been great. One of the brothers, Ruben, he said, I knew you were in town this week. I said, how did you know? He said, because the conversation is different. He said, when you hear the boys are talking about more future, more intelligent things, when you're not here, it could be whatever it is, gang banging and all of this stuff. And now the guards co-facilitate with me. So when I come in with our curriculum, we're having great conversation. And I say, Brother Scott, what do you think about? And he'll say, man, Brother Brian, I just talked to them. So it's almost like a whole co-facilitation kind of thing, which I think is even more impactful, because that way when I leave, they're still there with the students 24/7.
Just one of your Chicago Paisan just called in a while ago, Fernando Jones. It's a crying shame.
Blues, man.
Yeah. You're in Chicago with him, and he had to see you on Community Conversations.
Yeah, the blues man. How's he doing?
Yeah, pretty good. So you're coming to Riviera Beach, you say, to do some work with the police department?
Yes. So Chief Michael Coleman, we were discussing this a couple of years ago when he first came in, or a year or so when he first came in. But I think the climate is right now. So I just got back from Springfield, Illinois, where Sonia Massey was killed. I trained 250 of their police officers down there, Kent Police Department, FBI National Academy in Washington, as well as the Washington State Gambling Commission. We just signed a contract, or we're negotiating a contract with the Illinois State Liquor and Control Commission their law enforcement agency that they have there. So in Riviera Beach, I got a lot of information on community demographics, what's going on there, use of force data. And so we're just going to have a real intelligent conversation about how do we build this community? How do we grow this community? Because the reality is whenever you have chasms between police and community, the community that suffers the most is the poorest community, the marginalized community. They're the ones who get hit the hardest. So we want to discuss some solutions. But I think that Riviera Beach is going to be just fine. Honestly, under the leadership of Captain Coleman, I don't see some of the challenges that I may see.
Just as a backdrop or history of this, without getting too deep into it, you're going to be using the book The Stop, right? Your book, The Stop. Tell us about The Stop. How did that come about?
So The Stop came about. I was on the south side of Chicago. I was doing a workshop with 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. I asked them a simple question. If you're on the playground playing, minding your own business and doing nothing wrong, if a police car drove over, what would you do? What do you think they said they do, C-Ron?
Probably run.
Yeah, that's exactly what they said. And I said, hold on a minute. I said, you're doing nothing wrong. Why would you run? The student said, we don't want to get shot. We don't want to be harassed. And we don't want the police to stop us from going home. But that was alarming. And then equally alarming, 2 of the bigger boys said, well, I wouldn't run, but if they disrespect me, I'm going to disrespect them. So I'm thinking, oh, Lord, some of our 14, 15-year-old boys look like grown men.
Right.
So if you're challenging a police officer, it's not going to end well for you because they have man strength all day long and the law and the gun and the handcuffs and the taser and everything else that they've been trained to use. So when I sat there listening to my babies, I'm like, this is not going to end well for them. Who are they listening to? And I realized that either they're listening to family, television, social media, their own personal experiences with law enforcement. We can't alienate that as well. And so I said, I want to be a voice of reason. And almost 2 months after that conversation with the young people, though, I was going from Chicago to Battle Creek, Michigan, and I was driving across Indiana. And there I was doing about 72 miles per hour. The speed limit was 60. So I figured I'm going 12 miles per hour over. It's not that big of a deal. However, the speed limit dropped to 50. Now I'm doing 22 miles per hour over the speed limit. Trooper Aaron Weller stopped me and said, hey, in Indiana, it's considered reckless driving. So either I can take you to jail or give you a $500 ticket. I was like, ooh, I don't like that idea at all. So this is the guy right here, Trooper Aaron Weller. This is the officer who stopped me in Indiana. So what he did is he gave me a $150 ticket. I said, thank you very much. Now I can go to my engagement. I'll pay this $150 ticket and it's done. I said, can I take a picture of you? He said, well, why would you take a picture of me? I said, I just had a conversation with some of my students, and they believe that if a black man has an encounter with a white police officer, it's going to be a fatality. And I said, I want to show them that you're not the only one with power in the stop, but I have power too. He said, you have power? I said, yeah. He said, well, what's your power? I said, my body language, my words, my tone. He said, you believe that? I said, yeah. He said, hand me that ticket back. I was like, oh, snap. He's going to kill me now for real. I done talked too much. So he took the ticket, ripped the ticket up, and gave me a warning. CBS News, and I posted what happened on social media, and the post literally went viral. As a result of the post, I'm trying to pull it up in the book, CBS News brought us both back to the scene and talked to us and said, hey, Trooper Weller, we did our history on you. You've been a trooper for 8 years. You've never, this was the post right here. You've never issued a warning. You've never ripped up a ticket. You've written over 8,000 tickets. You're known as the Bulldog. Why today did you decide to rip this ticket up? He said, this guy just said everything perfectly. And I understood he was a good guy. He told me what he did with the kids. And I just wanted to give him a break. And so when he said that, when the cameras turned off, he and I were just standing there together. I said, Trooper Weller, why did you really rip that ticket up? He said, honestly, when I went to my car, God told me to rip this ticket up. I said, dude, I honestly believe the Spirit of God was there with us. And I honestly believe God is going to use us in some kind of way. Beyond, this is bigger than a traffic stop. Some kind of way.
It is.
Yeah. So literally, About a month or so later, Indiana State Police came to my home. This is my house in Chicago. I'm trying to see if I can show it to you.
Yeah, we see it.
You can see it.
We had a 2-hour meeting in my house talking about what happened. I said, Trooper, tell me, did you stop me because I was black? He said, no, you were going 72 miles per hour. I couldn't see what color you were. I was like, You know, sometimes we get tired of being picked on, so we create our own story, right? We have confirmation bias. So they said, I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do a ride along with you. We're going to have you to come to Indiana. We're going to have you to ride with Trooper Weller. So Dave Burson was their chief information officer. So what we did is we did a whole reenactment of the scene. To this day, Indiana State Police, if you go to my YouTube channel, I have a video on there called Do It Right. They're still using that particular video in their training for their officers. This is what happens when you do the stop right, when you respect people, when they give you respect, and you give them respect back. And even if they don't give you respect, you're the officer. You all understand verbal judo. You're supposed to de-escalate the situation and not take it over the top. And so during the ride along, he stopped the car. He said, okay, that car is doing 70 something. We're going to let him go, but I bet you another one's going to come a little bit faster. Next thing you know, whoom, 80 miles per hour. That's the one we want. Boom, hit him. We go there. I was hoping I can see the color. I was like, I couldn't see the color of the person. They were going too fast. So he pulled over. I stayed in the car, and I was like, whoa, Trooper, I could not see the color. I said, I really want to look this time, you know, real closely. Could not see the color. So the thought of he pulled me over because I was black was thrown out the window. He pulled me over because I was speeding, going over 20 miles per hour over the speed limit. And that's a guaranteed ticket, or I could have gone to jail. And so I was like, you know what? I have a lot of misconceptions regarding law enforcement, even though my father was a police officer. And so from there, I joined COPA, Community Advisor for the Civilian Office of Police Accountability. Since then, I'm an alumni of the FBI Citizens Academy. Since then, I've worked with, trained with different police departments across the country, because my true goal and my true aim is to help community understand police better and help police understand community better, where we don't have to have unnecessary use of force, where we don't have to have what we just saw in Illinois and where we see almost every other week in some other place, just excessive force. But also my goal is to create mutual respect, shared responsibility, and accountability on behalf of law enforcement as well as the community.
Congratulations, by the way. I just told that you just received some major award from, is it the Chicago Police Association? Tell us about that.
So it wasn't an award, but after I did the training at Springfield, now let me say this, Springfield, Illinois is 80% white, 12% black, almost 88% of the officers are white males. So when they brought me down there, you can imagine, you know, this was after the Sonia Massey killing. You can imagine the energy in the room, like, what he gonna talk about? When it was over, almost 87% of the evaluations were excellent. The ones that were low, the comments were, it wasn't enough time. He didn't get a chance to go through all of the material because I had my Stop Challenge poster. It's on this side. Oh, it's on this side. I had the Stop Challenge poster. I had the book. I had some other handouts. They were talking and we were interacting so much, we didn't even get a chance to use all of the material. So they're like, we really wanted to get to this. So what they asked me was, hey, would you consider being a trainer for the state of Illinois law enforcement? He said, however, we want to get credit. Police don't like taking courses if they can't get credits for it. So I just got approved by the Illinois Law Enforcement Training Standards Board as my course, The New Conversation, as well as myself as a trainer. We both just got approved to be able to provide services for throughout the entire state of Illinois for all police departments, and they get credit.
Cool. We have a clip of for Riviera Beach. Why don't you go ahead and roll the clip, Jeremiah? We have a clip of the upcoming presentation you're going to be doing in Riviera Beach.
Doing it, bro. You're doing it.
I'm just warming up, man. I'm just warming up.
I believe you.
Jeremiah, you have the clip?
And while the clip is queuing up, honestly, I asked God if you What's up, Riviera Beach? My name is Dwayne Bryant, president and founder of Intervision International. On November 12th, I have the distinct opportunity and the pleasure to engage with you, law enforcement, police, community, faith-based, and we're going to have a powerful conversation. A lot of it's going to be generated right here from my book, The Stop, Improving Police and Community Relations. We're going to be looking at the Stop Challenge. We're going to have your own notepad so that you can take some copious notes, because here's the deal. It is time for us to build a community that's powerful, where law enforcement, where community is working together, where the community is growing and prospering together. We cannot have this separation any longer, and we cannot have a division between police and community. So, Mel Felder, I've been seeing some great things that's going on in Riviera Beach. Chief Cole, man, my man. I cannot wait to get down there. We're going to have a great night. Come ready, have your questions. I'm going to have an amazing presentation for you. It's scheduled for 2 hours, but honestly, you're going to wish it was longer.
Okay.
Oh, man, shoot, I just made myself nervous. I got to live up to all of that hype.
Stand by. I have a member of your fan club waiting to get on. Go ahead and bring her in, Jeremiah, please. DB, actually, 3 wake up.
Oh! Hold on. I got to give a
3 more nights and 1 wake up. And the day of reckoning will be on us. You know, like many, Miss Anita Jenkins in Palm Beach County, Florida, must be mighty warm down there for you guys now, but she is a member of Delta Sigma Theta, the other DST, Miss Jenkins. And like many members of the Divine Nine, all the Greek organizations put together, she has been advocating and encouraging people in her church and the community to go out and vote. Thank you for joining us, Ms. Jenkins.
Thank you so much. I am so excited to be on Community Conversations for my first time, and to see Mr. Dodd and Mr. Bryan at the same time. It is quite an honor. So good evening.
It's an honor to see you, Miss Jenkins.
Absolutely. I'm so honored. I'm ready to pull up my camera and take a picture of my screen so I can keep it. Got it.
Anyone who has visited your church, which is the Mount Olive Missionary Baptist Church in Delray Beach, Florida, in recent months, they've heard you in fervent pleas to register to vote, and most recently, to make sure you vote. If you will, Ms. Jenkins, what is at stake in this election? Why this big push?
This is one of the most consequential elections of our lifetimes, of my lifetime. We're faced with an existential crisis where we will lose the heart of our democracy. I truly, truly believe it. The language that I am hearing locally, nationally, around our state, echoes some of the things that I'm hearing in other international communities, where people are hearkening back to days that a lot of us have forgotten and we only know from history books. It is a precursor to similar, I don't know if you're getting feedback, but I am. It's a precursor to the type of environment that we experienced in the world leading up to World War II and Hitler. And I truly, truly believe that if we don't step up, if we don't show up, if we don't show out, as they say in my community, we're going to lose something that I don't think we'll ever get back again. It's not just, I think, a contest between 2 candidates. I think it is a contest against the scourge of evil. I think it is a contest against the soul of America. I truly, truly believe it. And voting is such a precious right, a precious privilege, that if we don't do everything to protect it, to use it, to expand it, to showcase it, to elevate it, we may never see it again. So that's why I do what I do.
Oh, Miss Jenkins.
DB, you want to add to that, DB? You muted, sir. You muted, brother. You're muted, DB.
I say when someone serves me icing and cake and ice cream on the top, it ain't enough for me to add. I just take it the way it came. No, that was perfect.
Sorry, go ahead, Robert.
Yes, Miss Jenkins. Actually, you grew up in the South, in Birmingham, Alabama, the city that played a big role in the civil rights movements back then in the 60s. How much influence, if any, did your upbringing have on your quest to elect to get people to vote?
Oh, that's a question that I love to talk about, Mr. Dodd. I'm a child of the 60s and 70s. I grew up in a community called Fairfield, Alabama, the home of Willie Mays, the second home for Angela Davis, the home of the esteemed Miles College, and so many other notable people who came from the community. It is 12 miles from the center of downtown Birmingham. And we know that Birmingham was ground zero for the civil rights movement in the 60s. I was telling someone just the other day about the times that I grew up in and the circumstances where I was a fortunate little Black girl to live in a home where my mom and dad and my maternal grandmother were so invested in us as children. I grew up in a large household, many sisters and brothers. And my father, who is one of my greatest role models in my life, and let me put this in context for you, was born in 1900. We just recognized my father's birthday. And of course, he's long gone, but never forgotten in our family.
Yes.
Where my father was from Lowndes County, which is really, if you do your history, your civil rights history, it is the cradle of the civil rights movement and the voting rights movement. And it stands between Selma and Montgomery. So the family history and our family church is still there on the Selma Highway, Mount Sinai Baptist Church. When you just remember the stories that my father told me about the times that he came about, Jim Crow, World War I, World War II, the Great Depression, and how he struggled to build his family. I had two older brothers. Actually, my oldest sibling turned 100 years old, and he's still alive in Cleveland and has already voted for Kamala Harris, where my father lost his first wife and he raised two sons, moved them from the farm to Birmingham. Because my father grew up on a farm in Whitehall in Lowndes County, he only had a fourth grade education because, you know, they were farmers. You know, you had to scrap to eat, etc. So while he could read, it was haltingly, and his education was halted at a young age. So here is my father, who had a fourth grade education, who ended up raising all my sisters and brothers, giving all of us the opportunity to go to college. Not all of us finished, but we all had the opportunity to go. Who left the farms to first go into the mines and then into the steel mills to support us. This man, with his fourth grade education, saved his money. He taught me how to save. He taught me the value of interest, money, etc., paying your bills on time. He built a house. That house still stands in Fairfield. It never had a mortgage on it. When I grew up, I never lived in a place where you paid rent or paid mortgage. So in Alabama, in order to vote, you had to be white, you had to own property, etc. So for a Black man who wanted to vote, there was no opportunity to do so. You know, he would have been killed. So when the civil rights movement started, it came to our area, and people in the neighborhoods were being encouraged, and they started to coalesce. So you all know the stories about how Martin Luther King came to town, and Ralph Abernathy, who's from Birmingham, etc., and all of those um, ancestors who are gone. My father was brave enough with my mother and my grandmother to go to the meetings, and they were told what the challenge would be if they wanted to vote in early 60s in Birmingham, Alabama. You had to own property, you had to pass a literacy test, and you had to pay a poll tax. A poll tax sometimes that was more than the weekly income of those families. So my father had the deed to his house, and remember, there was no mortgage on it, so there was no white man who could come and tell him, he better not go do what he did. He had his bank savings book, and my father, with his fourth grade education, studied along with other neighbors night after night to learn parts of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights because they had to pass with 100% accuracy a literacy test. It was ridiculous. So the barriers were so strong, but my father got his voting card. My mom got her voting card. My grandmother, who was born in 1880, got her voting card for the first time, and it must have been around 1964. So seeing that example as a young girl, and I'll never forget one time when a carload of white men came up on what's called a height, which is in the middle of the Black community on our street, and threatened us and told us, you better not go to those meetings. You better not do that. For my father to do that, see, Ron, how could I not vote every time there is an opportunity
That's
to
right.
cast a ballot?
That is so
That
true.
is my example. And thank goodness I pass it on to my children, my grandchildren, all of my siblings. We are passionate about this. And I want to just share it with everybody. It's not something we should ever take lightly.
Right. In communities, in communities across the country, Christian churches, in particular, Black churches, have been holding, voter registration drives, providing voter guides, hosting events with candidates, and if you will, providing teachings to connect to today's issues. How effective are these get out the vote events, and are there any evidence that they actually move the undecided or even the reluctant voters to take action?
I think that there is. For decades, the church has been that central institution in our communities that is a beacon of hope for when there was none other, a place where people could gather, a place where people could get accurate information, where they could have resources and support. And in my own church, Mount Olive Baptist Church in Delray Beach, Florida, with the esteemed Dr. Elsie Johnson, we do some effort around voter education every Sunday, not just when it's election time, not just when it's a presidential election, but every Sunday there is some call for registration, for signing up for mail-in ballots, for educating people on the issues, because we really believe that all that voting is local, and that while we get excited about the presidential elections, the most impactful opportunities are at the local level. So I know in my own church that people who are elderly have come to me, and I tell them, don't be ashamed if you've never voted, vote now. Do something now. And we register people, we make sure that their registrations are up to date. We get them information. I have people who call or text. I had a text from my pastor today to ask for clarification on some of the races, and we provide that to our members. The laws in Florida are so restrictive. So a lot of the souls to the polls type of events have been restricted, where they're just tight reins, but we're still doing it. We still take people to the polls, and I think it makes all the difference in the world, because that's the one place where you know you will be comforted, you'll get that information, and where there will be like-minded people who care about the community.
You know, DB, it still hurts and it's sad to know there's still people. I'm still running across 30-year-olds and even 40-year-olds who are telling me just this week that they're undecided and they're not going to vote because they don't see the value in voting. They don't believe either candidates. And it's just asinine. And these are people in leadership positions. But anyway, conversation for next Friday night or the week after. Ms. Jenkins, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for the enlightenment.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you
for
Mr.
the
I
opportunity.
want to say congratulations for that legacy. That's like, wow. I mean, your daddy was ground zero.
Yes. So thank you. And if anybody's listening and, vote, take somebody to vote, encourage somebody to vote, and be informed. Don't listen to stupid stuff. Know for yourself, because
That's right.
This is your life, your children's lives, and this is our community. So thank you, C-Ron, for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. And thank you, DB. Again, brother, when you get a chance and get some time, you're welcome to come in and sit in the big chair. I'll bump Robert Dodd any day for me and you to just sit and we just talk about issues.
I'm used to it. Don't worry. I'm used to this. I'm used to that.
I don't know if I feel comfortable bumping such a great man right there.
This is our family. We are a family, regardless. We are a family.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you all.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Have a
Take care.
Great seeing you all.
Very interesting, C-Ron. Very interesting.
Very so, man. That was deep. That was deep.
It was. It was. It almost took me back to when I lived in Bensonhurst. And I look around, I didn't see nobody like me. I was the only dark spot there. Yes, it was. It was the experience, and all. That's why I make sure I'm able to vote.
Wow. We mentioned earlier that at the top of the list, schools in the state is out. Well, congratulations are in order to Florida Atlantic University's A.D. Henderson School on being ranked by Niche as the number 3 best school among both elementary and middle schools in the state of Florida for 2025. FAU Lab Schools faculty members are also ranked among the public schools, taking the number 2 spots in the state for the best middle school teachers and best high school teachers, as well as number 3 for best elementary school teachers.
Oh yeah, you know what? By the way, C-Ron, last week, we heard from Coach Bill. Coach Bill Caesar, who planned to giving away 400 meals Thanksgiving in Delray Beach community.
Yes.
And if you are interested in supporting the effort financially, you may do so by visiting the website at comebacktogiveback.org. You can also get additional information on that event.
Yeah, congratulations. We just heard from viewers in our 8th country. 8th country. So we have viewers in 8 countries now, guys. This week we heard from Mrs. Parker and her Shape Knights at Shape American in Mons, Belgium. So Jeremiah, let's go ahead and add the Belgium flag to our lineup. And I'm very proud. We're in 7 countries and 24 school districts across the United States.
Oh, by the way, hey, C-Ron, by the way, last week's show, if you missed, if some of y'all missed the great show.
We had a young man, Jacoby Bethea.
Right.
He's a 10th grader at 10th grader at Dreyfus School of the Arts in the big chair. He sat in the big chair for Jasmine last week.
Right,
Kobe
and he's
was
the
the winner
winner.
of the. Yes, he was
Go
the winner
ahead.
of the inaugural Palm Beach Has Talent show. No, now, folks, we leave the segment on a somber note. We're here at Community Conversations. Thank you so much. We here at Community Conversations send our condolences to a member of the KOP Mentor Network family. That's the Stinson family on the.
Ooh. Go ahead and run the tape, Jeremiah. I think Mr. Ciron linked out on us. So if you could run that tape, we appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in for another amazing rendition of Community Conversations. If you like what you saw tonight, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing with friends, families, and even acquaintances. Be sure to tune back next week for another amazing edition of Community Conversation.